I only interview with warm leads. So what is a warm lead? Warm lead refers to the level of readiness or familiarity that the client has, the potential client has with you and your services before getting on that call with them. Cold leads are those that have to be nurtured and educated over maybe a period of time in order to eventually get them to consider your agencies as their service provider. And most networking and social media advertising methods focus on generating and nurturing cold leads. But a warm lead is the people who have already shown interest in your services or packages, even people that have found you first. We might consider those hot leads, but often people that find you first are also warm leads sometimes. But the business owners that know who you are, even if that's because you've already nurtured them, that they started out as a cold lead, they know who you are, they know what you do, and are interested in your services for their needs. So they're already interested before you get on that call. I never get on a discovery call with a potential client until they are warmed up. And this allows me to really prioritize my time and manage my energy in the directions that matter most. It has a dramatic improvement on my close rate, which is essentially the rate at which I, get on discovery calls and actually turn those calls into clients, to where I'm now signing on 5 out of every 6 clients that get on a call with me, which really means that I'm spending less of my time trying to warm people up on discovery calls, which would mean most likely that only 1 out of every 6 actually becomes a client. But those discovery calls are completely different from leads. So after this module, you will learn not to be afraid of cold leads, and you'll have the perfect pitch that turns them from cold to warm really fast before they get on a call with you. And we're actually later on, especially in marketing, more in that marketing kind of section, we're going to talk about how to use this pitch in multiple ways, because this isn't just something that you could use for cold leads. This is something that you can use for leads that are already a little bit warm, that you can warm them up even further. So this doesn't have to be something that you're reaching out purely to people that, don't know you at all. But it's also great for that. So this pitch in particular, you're going to see that the language is sharing, it's really rooted in psychology, and it's sharing how you found them. So it's definitely geared towards someone that you just kind of stumbled upon or someone that you researched. But of course we could adjust that, and we could make it for someone that you've had a little bit of contact with and you're just warming them up further. Really, I want you to take this and make this your own. But again, the language is rooted in psychology. It is something that has brought me lots of success finding clients, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I have split tested different language, and through a lot of trial and error, this is the one that makes the most impact on my potential clients and all of my leads. But that does not mean that you will not have to edit this. It should really reflect your professional voice and tone and your own manner of speech. You may also want to consider what words and emotions your ideal niche client really resonates with, and this is the perfect opportunity to go back to the defining your ideal client exercise from the workbook and really take some elements from what they really want and what they really care about. But let's get into the actual pitch here. So this is the template that we're looking at. You can download this in the resource section of this course, and I'm going to go over what each of these brackets is for, what you can add, really what the intention is of every paragraph. And remember that each of these are put into a particular order. And while you can and should change the wording to fit you, we really want to keep maybe the vibe or the tone of this email, because that is what really speaks to this ideal client as a person, and not just as a number, not just as kind of like a generic marketing effort, but that you really see them as a real person. Okay, so let's go over this. We're going to go over each section, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what it's for. So this subject, this is not my favorite subject line. I want to be honest about that, because this is actually a subject line that I've split tested over and over again with different subject lines, and the ones that I like the most weren't necessarily the ones that got the most responses or the most opens, I believe. So this is the subject line that worked best for my specific ideal client. And that's important to know because you want to kind of split test your own subject lines. And it might not be your favorite one that gets the most response rate. But we do want to make sure that we are using the one that helps people identify you as, very authentic. And definitely, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll also put their name right in the subject line. So again, what we're doing with this template is this is a very specific template. This is not really designed to be something that you send out as like a mass email. This is something that we want this ideal client, this potential client, to really feel that this is specifically for them. The goal with this and the reason that this email is such a closer is that we've created a template that makes it super easy, like up to like 5 minutes of you being able to just input the proper information that makes it relevant to that specific potential client, but that they know immediately that this message could not have been sent to anyone but them. So especially we want to maybe add their name in the subject line. We always want to add their name right as we address them. We never want to say hi, like business owner, or especially not like to whom it may concern. This is specifically to them. And if you can't find a name, I do recommend you research this company if you really want to work with them, or this entrepreneur that you want to work with. But if you can't find a name, one of the best things to do is if they do have, any other team members, putting that team member's name, even if you think it's like not the CEO, or really what we can do is we can put their business name there. So if it's, Radical Solutions LLC, just as an example, we can say, hi, Radical Solutions team. So we can really still make it very personal, even if we can't find a name. But I'd highly recommend this should be sent to people that you want to work with, in which case you would have already researched them, you've seen their name, you've kind of maybe scrolled through some of their social media, and this is someone that you want your business to support. So, hi name. I'm so excited to be reaching out to you today. I found your site after looking for some resources on blank. So this is specifically maybe their industry. So really kind of as we're researching potential clients, as we're gathering that information, we want to just jot down what it is they do, what industry they're in. So if they're on like fitness or motherhood, we happen to be looking for some resources on motherhood. And this is where your ideal client, knowing that ICA avatar, comes in really handy, because also, as we're looking for, like, let's say we're looking for our ideal client, rather than typing in entrepreneur or business owner to look for them, we want to, maybe look for people that have resources on motherhood. So we're, kind of creating this template that says, I found your site after looking for some resources on motherhood. And we know that that's going to be true because maybe we Googled resources on motherhood and we found all of these blogs, we found all of these Instagram posts, and we kind of pulled our potential clients from there. So when we send this to them, that's a very genuine statement that we searched resources on motherhood, their site came up, and we happen to have a virtual assistant agency and we really want to work with them. So whatever that industry is, or whatever that niche is, whatever your ICA is, this is the part where we put in something that lets them know this is specifically for them. And again, if this is not someone that you did stumble upon, if this is maybe someone that liked your post on Instagram or maybe commented on one of your YouTube videos instead, you can, alter this. And then I think the rest of this email is really also going to still serve you super well. So moving on. And I have so much respect for you and the online business you've built, because I am also an entrepreneur. Again, with the tone here, especially as far as grammar and punctuation, some people in certain grammar subsects don't like to start a sentence with "and." They would much rather, this be a semicolon or a comma. But really, this has to be your tone. So I want you to take a look at these elements, every element of this template, make a template that really works for you in the way you want to present your business. So here we can see that, and I do recommend actually presenting your business in a very personal way and not super formal. That's what this template is designed to do. But if you know that your brand voice or your ideal client is more formal than this, definitely make it more formal to match. So I have so much respect for you and the online business you've built because I'm also an entrepreneur. That's kind of a segue statement into I found you. I was really excited about the resources that I found, and I'm about to tell you about my own business. But before we do that, I want to explain that this adding a personal element, so this should be just 1 or 2 sentences, very short. That personal element is not about you. In reality, this is an email introducing yourself to your ideal client or your potential client, but it's not really an email about you. This email is about them. So this email needs to be focused on what they need, what their problems are. And so really this personal element is what we want to do is we might want to take maybe 1 or 2 sentences to say, I saw your recent post on Instagram about, the motherhood resource that I found. And, I couldn't agree more. That's so great. I'm really excited for what you're doing for mothers out there. That's such a big deal for a potential client to open this up, and within the first 2 paragraphs, just the first 4 sentences, they see that you found them specifically, that you work in their industry specifically, that you actually know who they are, that you've seen something that they posted, because we know how much energy some entrepreneurs spend on, those tasks of content creation and connecting with their audience. So really we want to affirm them a little bit. And we want to say that we appreciate what they're doing, that we believe in them and their values and their mission. We want to really connect with them. And again, strategically with this template, we can do that in just 4 sentences. So another segue here, you are so inspiring to me, and I love supporting fellow entrepreneurs through my virtual assistant agency. We provide quality services, and I want you to replace that with your specific services. So if you do have a niche of services, you can put quality virtual assistant services if you feel like your agency is going to be very broad. But if you have a niche service, so we provide quality email marketing, email management, and customer service to coaches and mompreneurs, or whatever your ICA is. So just using the motherhood example, mompreneurs. But if this is finance entrepreneurs, if this is any other industry, and even if your niche is not an industry, still put their industry. So let's say your typical niche is the finance industry, but the person that you're talking to right now is in the fitness industry. It's a very simple switch just to swap out, I was looking for some resources on fitness or whatever the specific fitness is, and we provide quality services to coaches and fitness entrepreneurs. That is such a big deal for this client looking at you and going, yes, this is exactly what I need. This person knows me. And even if they don't think or know yet that they need your services that your agency offers, this is really priming them to be like, this is such an amazing email. I am so glad that this person reached out in such an authentic way. I'm so happy to have received this email that I'm going to explore it. Even if I wasn't quite sure if I needed virtual assistant services, I still want to talk to this person. So on the off chance that you're looking to increase revenue with, this is an example of, YouTube ads or whatever your services are, we want to put that right here. So revenue with services as your company continues to grow, and I wanted to reach out and connect. So this is not really saying, here's why my company is awesome, you need to work with us. This is saying you might have a need for these services, and I wanted to reach out and connect. I wanted to, essentially, this is you saying, I want to network with you. I want to be someone that's in your community that you can come to if you have a need for these services. I can't tell you how many times I've maybe sent something like this to someone, and then a year later, they email me and they're like, I'm ready. I remember your email. I remember, all the specific elements, and I'm really excited to work with you. Can we work together now? And having the ability to come into their inbox with the offer to connect, offering your services, not just pitching your services, but to genuinely connect with them and network with them. That's going to serve your agency for so long into the future. So it's a really great idea to add those networking elements and not just pitching your services. this section right below that networking offer, this is where we want to spend just 1 or 2 sentences, again, keeping it short, because we don't want to send a super long email. If we do that, they're not going to read it, and they're not going to get all the information they need. But we want to spend 1 or 2 sentences saying why you're the best solution in this niche, and what specific services are included in your offers. So like maybe a bullet point list of just a couple things that you offer. And really, this statement could also be kind of a little bit of like your elevator pitch statement, so that core mission statement. So you could explain that you offer blank services in a particular method or particular way, or a particular ideal client. Again, just explaining why it's a really great idea to work with you, you're the best solution, or listing like, here's what services we offer. 1 or 2 sentences tops. We handle the difficult parts of service, so our clients are freed up to focus on higher ROI activities. So we're also explaining, again, if this is different for your business than maybe this more generic statement, what we're doing here is we're telling them what their life could look like, just a little bit, what their life could look like, how things could be different if they work with us. So we're painting that picture for them right here. We want to input words that they would use, emotions that they would understand, any relief that they specifically want. So that's why it's great here to understand your ICA, because we can really replace, stress reliever. Like, is that a phrase that my ICA would actually use when they see phrases that they've actually used in the past to describe what they're experiencing? It triggers so many connective neurons in their brain that they really start to see you as someone who fully understands them and what they need, even with just that 1 sentence. So if this is something you'd like to chat further about, just hit reply. I've also attached a video to introduce myself. If you don't feel comfortable on video, I would highly recommend to just give it a try. Even if the video is not that good, still, it's a great option to add. I can't tell you how many people have deeply appreciated seeing that video, especially people who might be short on time that look at this email and it just looks like a generic email and they're not going to read it. They see a video, maybe kind of I have video link here, but we can also input a image, like a screenshot of the video image itself. Or more recently, Loom has integrated with Gmail. So if you use Gmail as your email provider, you can record something on Loom. I'll let you go ahead and look into that option for yourself. We're not going to go over that in this video. But record something on Loom and you can embed actually a GIF, which is really cool. A GIF is like an image of that video that you created, but just a 1 or 2 second loop of the video itself, so that it's not just a picture, it's actually kind of moving, and it kind of really catches their eye, and it's so fun. And in that video, don't worry about the script too much. Really, actually, what we want to do is we want that video to serve as a way that people can see us and hear our voice, and introduce them to our brand in that way. But the content of that video, you're basically just going to be saying this. You could even actually verbatim say this template in your video, because especially for people who aren't going to necessarily feel like they have the time to read this, that 2-minute video of you saying everything that's in there, that's so amazing. And so another thing that we can do to really save on time, because we don't necessarily want to be recording a brand new video for each person, is we can take this template, and rather than having these specific elements, we can take this template, take all of the individual elements out, so leave them in the email, but in the video itself, record 1 video saying things like, I'm so excited to be reaching out to you. I'm glad I found your site after looking, for resources that you offer, and I have so much respect for you and the business you've built. You are so inspiring to me. We provide quality services. We can still include everything, all of these elements. And then just kind of taking out some of these specific like industry elements, or even, so we provide quality services, and just leaving off the ICA there. That's an option for your video. That way, if someone, these business owners are busy, that's why they need your agency. So when we can save them time, we can really kind of give them the opportunity to watch the video and still get the information from our pitch, also it feels more personal, but without them feeling like they have to read a long email if they're just not an email person. So if you choose to put your video on YouTube, an image embedded is not going to be clickable. So, I like to leave it just a little note. The image is not playable. Use this link that I leave for you. And then, of course, that like GIF that would be automatically kind of embedded if you're using Loom. That's a great way it'll generate a GIF, it'll also generate the link, but still just having like this little note reminder, the image is not playable. I've actually had someone comment on that they responded to the email and they said, I'm so glad you left that note because I was trying to click on the image. And if it's a screenshot of your video and it has a play button, they might get confused. So also, this kind of just gives them an introduction on how you work, how you make things easy for them, how you care about their experience by adding little notes like this. So there's so much psychology behind each element to this, and I just love it so much. But if you want to learn more about me and what I do, here's my website, your agency website, of course. Your signature, kind of definitely still saying, as your title, agency owner. You can keep this simple. There's no need to do like a super fancy, pretty signature, especially if you're just getting started. Don't stress too much over that. We want to keep it simple. We want to just get you started. And at the end of the day, that video is a fantastic element. It makes you look very professional. Your website is a fantastic element. It makes you look very professional. So don't worry about making this email look, overly professional or like with a lot of graphics and images and things like that. Keep it very simple. Also, the less images you include, the less links you include, the more likely it is to show up in their inbox and not their promotions folder or their updates folder or even their spam folder. This PS is so important. We want to let them know if they're not interested, just let us know. That is also going to kind of hint at we are going to email again. So we are going to follow up if we don't hear back because we know that they're busy. And we know that they, might have read it, they might have loved it, they might have forgot, or it might not have reached their inbox. So we want to send a follow-up, but we want to let them know that if they're not interested, definitely hit reply and let us know. Otherwise, we will follow up and definitely honor this part, because if you say you're not going to follow up again, after they say that they're not interested and you accidentally do, that could look really bad on you and your business. And if they were going to work with you in the future, they're not now, most likely. And also, if you do send another one after they already say they're not interested, they might be inclined to flag you as spam, which is going to hurt your deliverability rate. So just definitely, this is, again, maybe a lesson in honoring your commitments and, really kind of showing up the way you want to in integrity and just honoring that statement. If they say they're not interested, then, send them a thank you. I'll stop emailing you. And yes, that's great. It's always great to add. So we're really balancing the two worlds of being professional and being refreshing with this pitch. We took the time to show them that we're a fan of what they do. Because remember, we're not selling our services. We're selling an experience and a relationship with someone that really gets their business. We want to let them know that. So really, I get so many positive responses to this email template in general. Even if they decline working with me, the number one response is, I love the video. And it was such a nice touch. Someone said, you made this so personal that, I love it. I don't need your services, but thank you so much for reaching out. So really, this is showing them how we work, what kind of person we are. We're putting our values to the forefront. I have multiple call to actions in here that they can talk to me. That PS is really important. Definitely head over to the download section of this lesson to copy my client pitch email. And then really, whether you're a new VA professional or a seasoned agency owner, you're going to love the difference that an authentic and real pitch like this makes in your business model. And it's going to help you feel less afraid, I think, to reach out to people who might not know you, because really this is warming them up. We're creating that relationship, and that is really just so special. Another thing that I want to challenge you to do with this lesson is go ahead and check your interactive workbook, and we want to go to that lead and pitch tracker tab. enter in a couple of people that you like to work with, that you like to reach out to. Even if you're not going to send it yet, put them in there and go ahead and get your outreach ready. Go ahead and get your super short follow-up emails ready. Just, hi, I want to make sure you got my email. Get those ready so that you are ready to go once you launch your agency. Go ahead and do that. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.